By your Texas Ford dealer. They're good. They're still good. And we'll articulate why that is as we go forward tonight. First, we're scouting out C.J. Wilson.
Well, he's had 10 starts, and the numbers are good. 297 opponent slugging percentage, lowest in the American League. You look at his last 3 starts. His ERA is .956. He's given up 17 runs in 16 innings and still has an ERA of .348 and an opponent's batting average of .222, which just shows how well he pitched through the first 7 games. Looking to bounce back today. He really threw the ball well in Minnesota for most of the game. He dominated the game through 5 innings and then just ran into some problems, and it all ballooned on him in a hurry.
We have 92 degrees game time tonight. All things considered, a little bit better than what we were led to believe it would be. We were hearing 99 would be more likely at game time. The Rangers looking for a quality start. Obviously, CJ is trying to get that arrow pointed north for him personally again. But the Rangers have only 3 quality starts in their last 18 games, whether it's CJ or anybody else. That's a real nice way to start as he strikes out B.J. Upton.
Well, it's nothing fancy. It's a fastball, and it gets a lot of the plate. But he just threw the ball by Upton. Upton is leading off, but his batting average is only .225. His on-base percentage only a little bit over 30%. And he's a lot better than that. It's a very talented kid. He just hasn't had it all click for him yet this year.
Tampa Bay has had to put Jason Bartlett on the DL. B.J. Upton, yeah, I mean, hitting .223 now with that strikeout. Carlos Pena, we mentioned, hitting just .176. But apparently pitching matters, because Tampa Bay is #1 in ERA, 3.17.
Oh, you just answered your own question. How are they doing it?
Yep.
There it is right there. Pitching.
Carl Crawford is the one guy having a representative year for them at the plate. He's batting .316. He's driven in 30 runs. He's got 17 steals. But yeah, it is, well, the old saw, huh? Pitching and defense. And Tampa Bay is 36-18. An amazing 21-6 on the road.
Well, pitching plays in any ballpark. If your pitching is better, if it's better than anyone else's pitching, you got a chance to win anywhere. A home run park, a singles park, yes, he did.
On appeal, yes, he did. Thank you, Jerry Crawford. C.J. Wilson begins with 2 strikeouts.
Big curveball for C.J. right there. Big, sharp breaking curveball. Really fooled Crawford. He couldn't lay off it.
Renders Crawford 1 for 10 lifetime against C.J. And again, against the lefties this year, it hadn't even been a fair fight. Lefties are now 6 for 60. Against C.J. That's I'm not a math major. I think that's a batting average of 100.
And really, that bat that hurt the most, maybe not hurt the most, but that started the hurt in Minnesota was to a left-hand hitter, to Justin Morneau. He had him 1 and 2 and ended up walking him, and that was the beginning of a big inning from Minnesota that turned that game around in their favor.
Evan Longoria having some kind of season too, just like Crawford, hitting .316. He's also got 10 homers, 42 runs batted in. He's even stolen 10 bases already, on pace for a 30-30 year. But C.J. Wilson wins out. Ground ball. That is a nice, quick, clean, crisp, wonderful top of the first. Elvis Andrus in to lead it off. There is no scores. The Rangers are back home in Arlington. The Rangers are in with a 28-25 record that is tied for first in the AL West with the Oakland A's, a game and a half ahead of the Angels. And absolutely up against it the next 3 days, taking on a Tampa Bay team that is 36-18. The Rangers with Elvis Andrus and the red-hot Michael Young. He's come to within 14 hits of Pudge Rodriguez for the all-time franchise record. Kinsler's been slumping a bit. Vlad Guerrero is back in the lineup after 2 days away. Josh Hamilton, David Murphy, Smoke and Ramirez, Julio Bourbon, and everybody taking their cuts against a large right-hander, Wade Davis, making only his 17th major league start, his 11th year in 2010.
And he's having a good year. He's 5-4. His ERA is a solid 4.04. That's the worst ERA in their rotation. All 5 starters have won at least 5 games. He's done his best pitching with runners on base, and he's given up 3 or fewer runs in 11 of his 15 starts. So he's been a solid guy. He came up through their minor league system, high draft choice out of high school, had over 700 minor league innings, so he served his time in the minor leagues. And now he's ready to break into the big leagues in a comfortable spot as the 5th man in a really good rotation, one of the best 5-man rotations in all of baseball.
Yeah, when the guy with the worst ERA is pretty much right at 4, that tells you what's going on. They've got the number 1 ERA man in the league, young David Price, who's also 24. The Rangers will miss Price this time in, although the one time Price did pitch on this mound, the Rangers crushed him. Drove him out after an inning and a third. That ball sprayed foul by Andrus. The Rangers 3-5 on that road trip, and now from all accounts, I mean, you're one big hit away from being 5-3. A couple of games where you really had a shot just to break it open, and it didn't happen. Last night was one of those games.
Yeah, they had 2 games. The one CJ pitched in Minnesota, and the one last night that Kobe Lewis pitched against Chicago. And both of those games felt like, you know, through 5 innings, like the Rangers were going to win the game. Both pitchers were really pitching well. The Rangers had a lead in a low-scoring game, and they ended up losing both of those games. Games that really, for most of the game, felt like they had a great chance to win.
Elvis down on strikes. Michael Young comes up next. Yeah, Colby allowing 3 home runs in a hitter-friendly ballpark yesterday, but boy, he was pounding that strike zone tag. 73 of 103 pitches were strikes.
Yeah, he was upset with the high changeup that he threw to Rios that was a home run, and it looked like he hung a cutter or a slider, and so he was burned by the long ball. But he pitched well. It just felt like he was pitching so well that it was a game the Rangers could easily have won.
Quick one in there to Michael Young. Michael's hit safely in 17 of 18. And is now 8th in the league in batting average.
One thing, if you want to nitpick with Davis, he has thrown a lot of pitches. He averages over 18 pitches an inning.
Checking out the Ford leaderboard, Michael Young since May 1st. Number 1.
You only see one National Leaguer. It's kind of interesting when you look at the batting averages, top 10 in each league. The other day, the 10th hitter in the American League would have been leading the National League in hitting.
That's right.
Their top hitter was, I don't know what it is today, somewhere around 320. The American League has 9 guys, at least as of a couple days ago, hitting higher than the leading hitter in the National League.
Michael Young towards right. That is foul. Yeah, you look at the National League right now, and, that's the league with Pujols in it and guys like Matt Holliday and Troy Tulowitzki, but top 2 guys in batting average are Martin Prado and Joey Votto at 323 and 320. You got Corey Hart leading the National League in home runs at 14. Jorge Cantu leading in runs batted in. These are not names that you would have thought of. Another one in the foul ground, and there's Gabe Kapler reaching out. Former Ranger makes a nice running play, robbing his buddy Michael Young.
Well, you probably won't find a better outfield for tracking down fly balls than the Devil Rays have right now. You've got Crawford with great speed and left, Upton, an excellent defensive center fielder, and Gabe Kapler, really good athlete, runs well. You got 3 really good speedy outfielders out there, so it's hard for balls to fall in.
Speaking of former Rangers,
all right,
welcome back, Hammer Time. Hank Blaylock looks weird in another uniform, huh?
He does. Glad to see him back in the big leagues.
Kinsler, a high drive center field, sending B.J. Upton back to the track, and he's got it. Ian gave it a ride, but the Rangers are down in order. No score at the end of 1. Scoreless as we go to the second inning, and we say hello to the birthday girl, Julie Dobbs. Happy birthday, Julie.
Thank you very much, Josh. I couldn't ask for a better venue for a birthday, and I am here now in the Community Corner, TXA 21 and Texas Rangers Foundation Community Corner, with our special guest for the day, and it is Catherine Arnold, and she is the Executive Director of Family Pathfinders. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Our mission is to strengthen the community by empowering individuals and families to attain self-sufficiency.
And I bet that y'all could use a ton more help and some more volunteers, and I hear you have a nice little success story you want to tell us real quick?
I do. When Maria came to us, she was a single mom, newly divorced. She had no marketable skills. She was about to lose her home. She was joined with a mentoring team who worked with her for a year to help her get a job and keep her house, and she is now giving back to the community by mentoring another family in need to help them create a vision for the future.
That sounds awesome, and if anybody wants to help, make sure and call the number on the screen or contact the website. Catherine, very much. Josh, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Julie. Welcome, Catherine. The Rangers and the Tampa Bay Rays into the second inning. Willie Ibar at the plate, the cleanup man. And again, all due respect to Willie Ibar, this is not a guy that a lot of people figured would ever hit cleanup for a first-place team. This was kind of the utility guy. The last guy to have his suitcase put on the bus out of spring training. It'd be like if Joaquin Arias was hitting cleanup for the Rangers. Joaquin's a real solid player, but you just don't figure him in the cleanup spot. There's a base hit for Willie Ibar. It brings up another along those storylines. That's Ben Zobrist, a Dallas Baptist product. Check out the base hit by Ibar. Zobrist, like Ibar, was simply a utility guy trying to make the team a couple of years ago. And not only did he emerge as an everyday player last year, he emerged as an AL All-Star. Versatility, power, great attitude. What a find. As a matter of fact, Mr. Grieve, that OPS stat, the on-base percentage plus slugging percentage, OPS, last year Ben Zobrist higher than that of Alex Rodriguez.
Wow.
For 1/40th of the paycheck.
That's pretty good.
Wilson in on him. And CJ establishes here. He's ahead in the count 0-2.
The Devil Rays made a great trade when they got Zobrist. Zobrist came over in the trade for Aubrey Huff when Tampa Bay was shedding some salary. They also got Mitch Talbot. Mitch Talbot then was traded to Cleveland, where he's having a pretty good year.
Zobrist rockets one into the alley. Murphy's going to play it in, and they are holding Ibar at third. Now CJ's going to have to do some fancy stepping now. You've got a Fort Worth product coming up here. Kelly Shopik with an opportunity to cash in. Second and third, nobody out.
He threw him a sinker, but he threw it right down the middle of the plate. Didn't get it out where he wanted to. Or maybe you get a ground ball, have a chance for a double play, throw it down and away. Instead, he caught the middle of the plate. Zobrist did a nice job going the way the ball was breaking. The ball was breaking away from him. He went away, drove it into the gap.
This is the first game back for Kelly Shopik. He's been out for several weeks. He had some right knee surgery, cleaning up a meniscus tear. The Rays had to put Jason Bartlett, their starting shortstop, on the DL today. Infield is back.
Yeah, that's a fairly safe bet that Ben Zobrist not going to try to steal third base right now. CJ's kind of holding him tight at second base. He got a pretty good story if he tries to steal third right here.
Thing about Shopik is he does have kind of a natural uppercut to his swing. It's a lot of fly balls. Ibar pretty decent speed over there at third, so that the Ranger outfield, Hamilton, Bourbon, Murphy, those guys have to be ready to catch and get rid of it. Maybe get a play at the plate. Bat goes flying. CJ levels the count at 1-1.
Took a little bit off, to him a changeup. And the result was he was way out in front of it. So much so that he couldn't hang on to his bat.
You got the struggling Carlos Pena on deck. That one inside, according to Brian Onora. And the Brewer High School product, Kelly Shopik, one-time teammate of David Murphy's at Baylor. Going to work that count to 3-1. Talked about Pena on deck, Tom. He leads the American League in strikeouts. He's got 60 of those already. And he has just 5 for his last 43.
You feel like if you get Shopik right here, you have a pretty good chance to maybe strike Pena out if you make some really good pitches, which would be a huge step to getting out of the inning.
Shopik takes a walk. They are loaded up with nobody out. And Mike Maddox, I'm sure, pondering whether or not it's time to go out there, but he's probably a little vote of confidence here to just kind of tacitly say, all right, CJ knows what he's doing. He knows what he's up against, and I'm going to save that trip for a little bit later if I need it. This will be a battle of two of the most well-read players in baseball. C.J. Wilson, as you may know, has so many interests off the field. Same with Carlos Pena. Right now, it's time to strap it on and go to work here for both these guys. Bases loaded, scoreless game, nobody out. And there's the ground ball. Kinsler, whoa, with a boot. He recovers and throws too late. That was a double play ball. The Rangers get nothing out of it. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that would have been nice if they were able to turn that. You'd certainly give up a run, bases loaded, no outs, to get 2 quick outs. It turned out to be not a simple ball to turn, though. It had a couple of tricky hops in it. Ball comes up on Ian as he's turning to make the throw. And what looked like a potential double play turns into nothing but another base runner.
Now, CJ made the pitch. He's been eating up lefties all year. And Pena has not been hitting lefties all year. Got that feeble ground ball that he wanted to get. But yeah, that second hop, too tricky for Ian. And now Sean Rodriguez to the plate. And again, with Bartlett on the DL now for Tampa Bay, Sean Rodriguez should get kind of an extended look. With the struggles that the Angels are having right now, injuries and ineffectiveness, they got to be thinking, wow, we could have hung on to this guy, just like they're thinking we could have hung on to Vlad Guerrero too. Darren Oliver, Vlad Guerrero, and this guy, Sean Rodriguez, all would definitely be helping out the Halos right now, but they're all in other places. Max Ramirez pulls it out of the dirt. And with no place to put Rodriguez, the count goes to 3-2. It was such a nice first inning, that first volley for CJ tonight. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But a very tricky second inning right here. Pop back into the crowd. A nice crowd turning out tonight on a warm Friday evening. Fireworks after the game tonight. Then 2 day games coming up. 3:10 first pitch tomorrow. And plenty of tickets left for Sunday, by the way. A 2:05 game against these Tampa Bay Rays. Down near third, Michael Young has got it. He'll race to the bag. That's the only out he'll get. Another run comes in. That's one of those where if it's just a few more inches towards him, then he doesn't have to leave his feet. You got a shot at the double play right there. And at the very least, if you want to, you can come home. But the moment he left his feet, it was just a race to get to third base.
Well, the way the inning was going, you just want to get it out right there.
And you get a double play ball here from Gabe Kapler. You are out of it, down just 2-0. Gabe is 34 years old now and still getting it done. Although 2 years ago at the age of 32, he was retired. He was managing in Single A in the Red Sox organization.
He's probably one of the better conditioned major league ball players. Great shape, always has been. Yeah, he decided, I just haven't gotten playing out of my system. I like managing, and who knows, someday Gabe may be a manager, but as long as you can play in the big leagues, you put managing on hold, and I think he felt he could still play in the big leagues. He was right.
Still has the longest hitting streak in Ranger history at 28.
CJ is really struggling with his command. He's thrown 17 balls, 18 strikes, 35 pitches altogether, and just really can't command the ball so far in the second inning. First inning was no problem. Second inning, though, been a problem to throw the ball where he wants it.
Hit the spot right there, 2-1. Max Ramirez framing it right there. Matt Trainer started every game behind the plate in Chicago and should get the start tomorrow afternoon, but it's Max tonight. This is not exactly what we were seeing from Colby Lewis yesterday. We talked earlier about the preponderance of strikes and how much easier it is to be pitching when it's 0-1 or 1-2. CJ just doesn't really have that luxury here in the second inning.
Well, CJ breezed through 7 starts. The last 3 have been a struggle, and this one's a struggle. And it's a situation where you just kind of learn as a starting pitcher. It's not that easy to breeze through 7 games like CJ did.
You embrace it. I mean, you love it and you're impressed by it, but you're right. Just because you do it right out of the chute 7 times doesn't mean you're going to follow up with another 7 just like that.
Oh, and that's, over 34 starts. To be consistent over 34 starts separates the ones at the top from everybody else. Not that easy to do.
See if Tampa Bay sends the runners here on 3-2 with 1 out. They're not. And that ball pegged foul down the line by Kapler. Gabe has now batted in the 9th inning of 2 perfect games the last couple of years. Victimized by Mark Burley and then by Dallas Braden.
2 similar type pitchers.
Mm-hmm. Infield stays at double play depth. And the 3-2. Got him swinging. One more hurdle to clear now. B.J. Upton, the leadoff man, about to bat.
Threw him a cutter. Down. Looks low. Actually caught the plate at the bottom level of it. With the 3-2 count. 2 strikes on a hitter. Tough pitch to lay off of. You're not sure whether it's a ball or a strike. And obviously very tough pitch to hit. Well, the guy's got his eye on the game, boy. Not sitting back having popcorn, watching the game.
No, he would
figure it out.
He wants third out right here.
He'll probably be a manager someday.
Off speed to B.J. Upton. who's had to rally to get his batting average up to 224. Wilson pumps it in. Max Ramirez has to go down to block it again. CJ's last three, you kind of hinted at it, Tom. He started from a position where his ERA was 1.4. But the last three starts, ERA's been about 9.6. And just kind of an overall reality check for CJ. Just trying to get things reestablished now. CJ flew home ahead of the team, by the way. He was in hours and hours before the Rangers were last night. Rangers got in a little before 3 in the morning. And as it turned out, a 3-5 road trip concentrated in the Midwest. The Rangers' next road trip coming up is all over the map. Going to Milwaukee, Miami, and Houston. But this is the interim. This is a 7-game homestand starting tonight. And CJ powers it right by Upton. Can he do that again? Come right back?
If he swings at that same pitch again, he will.
He was firing it up 3-0 was B.J. Upton.
He throws him a cutter about 6 inches inside. He swung at it on a 3-0 count. One thing to get the sign to swing 3-0, but you want to locate the part of the strike zone where you like it most and limit the pitch there before you swing. Would have been ball 4, but it still has a big strike left. I think when you see a guy swing at that pitch on 3-0, you see a guy that's struggling, and that's really what Upton is doing right now, struggling.
Crowd getting into it. Nothing prompted by the scoreboard or anything like that. They just realize they need to get behind C.J. Wilson right now. On 3-2 with the runners going. He walks B.J. Upton. And Mike Maddox, we mentioned, he was pondering going out there, I'm sure, in various other at-bats. You can go all the way back to the Kelly Shoppach at-bat, which seems like it was half an hour ago. But now he'll go out there and just make sure that CJ's got his mind right now. And I mean, I'm no pitching coach, Tag, but I think that the thing to remember, if you're CJ Wilson, and maybe just what you want to be reminded of by your pitching coach, is, hey, you're a lefty, he's a lefty. You struck him out in the first inning. You've owned this guy before. You got it. Deep breath, go get him.
As bad as the inning feels, and it feels bad with all the pitches CJ's thrown, they've only scored 2 runs. You want to minimize the damage right here with the bases loaded. You get Crawford. It's not the end of the world to give up 2 runs early in the ball game like that. Taking a lot of pitches to get to this point, though.
First one is strike 1. A breeze in the first. Not so here in the second. Another rip and a miss by Crawford. The Wiz just 1 of 10 against CJ lifetime, though the one hit, it's a home run. Tapper left side, dribbling into left field on 0-2 to chase home a pair of runs. CJ was undone in his last home start by a barrage of 0-2 base hits. And there's another one. The Cubs did it to him early in the game. And now Carl Crawford with an unfortunate replay.
And CJ's got a backup home plate on this. CJ ends up being the cutoff man in front of the catcher. If this is a bad throw and goes over the catcher's head, you got no one backing it up right there.
A 4-0 game as 2 runs come in. Boy, in the inning that just would not end. That is so disappointing. 0-2. Just a little tapper, but it just had eyes to get right in between third and short. Now you got to go get Longoria. Yeah, that game against the Cubs back on the 23rd of May. This was essentially the first inning of that game. What he's having is a replay here in the second tonight. 4 runs in an inning that really didn't look like it was that big a deal at first. That's the one where Ryan Theriot just kind of dribbled one in the left. Starlin Castro reached on a bunt. Derek Lee dribbled an 0-2 pitch in the left. But as you mentioned earlier, Tom, CJ's kind of his own worst enemy in some ways as well. Before that last pitch, a number of balls, a number of strikes were pretty much dead even. And you really don't want to dig too deep a hole because Tampa Bay, as we mentioned, they've got the best ERA in the American League. Got a big, strong guy on the mound tonight in Wade Davis. Longoria pops it up. And after a 12-pitch first inning, that was a 42-pitch second inning. Tampa Bay leads by 4. Texas Ranger Baseball on TXA 21 brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota moving forward. Vlad Guerrero trying to wake up the Rangers here. They find themselves down 4-0. The inability to turn a double play last inning costing the Rangers dearly. 2 of those runs unearned against the ledger of C.J. Wilson. And Vlad's going to foul one down the right field line. We mentioned earlier the Rangers getting the word out to keep on voting for Vladimir Guerrero. It would be such a nice story for him to go back to Anaheim, represent the Rangers in the All-Star game. Josh Hamilton on deck. He is right on the cusp. In the All-Star voting in the outfield, Nelson Cruz right now has a leg up. And the Rangers continue to be in the national consciousness in baseball, being tied for first in the West. On the ground to short. Boy, 3-1. And Davis, frankly, got Vlad to hit a pitch. It was not really something that Vlad was ever going to drive. Even Vlad.
That pitch, you know, it's Vlad, though. Chances are next time up, if he swings at the same pitch, he'll line it into center field for a base hit. But it is pretty tough to do much with that pitch, sinking down just a little bit above his shoe tops, really.
Josh hitless in 2 straight games, but the couple games before that, he was on fire. Gone 6 for 8 in those.
Davis has walked about 5 per 9 innings, thrown a lot of pitches, over 18 pitches, second highest per inning in the American League for qualifiers. So you need to be patient. Throws a sinker, make him get that ball up into the strike zone. Don't help him out. Mentioned that Davis had 6 minor league seasons. He was a high school pitcher, 3rd round draft pick, 2004, out of Lake Wales High School in Florida. So he's thrown 767 innings over 6 years. Not a lot of innings in any one given year, but he's repeated at A ball, he's repeated at AA, he repeated at AAA, so he's thrown a lot of innings. He still, as a high school kid, is only 24 years old.
Hamilton rips it over a leaping Pena into right field. On his way towards second base, Josh Hamilton waking up the Rangers with a double.
Pena had some hang time right there. Davis had a few too many walks. He's also given up 9 home runs in 10 starts. About 1 every 6 innings or so. That's what the Rangers need. Took the Rays a long time to get their 4 runs. 1 swing of the bat. It'd be nice to get 2 of them right back here and cut that lead in half.
Well, you mentioned the home runs, and actually he's given up 5 of them in his last 3 starts. This is a homer-friendly ballpark, as you may know. We haven't seen anything yet, not even in batting practice, leading us to believe that it's one of those nights where the ball's just going to jump and fly. Although usually once it starts getting hot, especially to right center, the ball does tend to sail a little bit. Not a lot of wind to speak of tonight, kind of a stagnant night tonight. Off speed in there. Well, we'll see if Murphy can be a 2-strike hitter just like Crawford was in the top of the inning. Murphy is hitting with 2 strikes on him, but a great play by Zobrist at second base to rob Murphy. On the process there, you've got a Hamilton scooting to third, but unfortunately for Murphy, that's an 0 for 1.
Yeah, it's too bad. David hit that ball hard. Zobrist didn't have a whole lot of time to react to it. Had 3 steps in and a dive and made a beautiful play. Base hit and an RBI all the way. It's hard to have the pitching statistics that the Rays have without playing good defense. Mentioned how well they play in the outfield. Longoria is a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. Zobrist plays well defensively wherever he is. Payne is a good first baseman.
Very tough to have good pitching without good defense, because nobody's going to strike out 27 in a complete game. At some point, somebody's got to catch the ball for you. That's actually happened once in the minor leagues. There was a 27 strikeout game in the early 1950s down in A-ball. But other than that, a guy named Ron Netchai from Monongahela, Pennsylvania, did it for the Pirates farm team in Bristol, Virginia. And then in his next start, the dude struck out 24. Then 20, then 19. Guy had 90 strikeouts over 4 starts. And eventually was called all the way up to Pittsburgh that summer, but he developed ulcers and a sore arm. That ball drilled. Justin Smoke gets the Rangers back in it. Upper deck shot at 4-2.
It wasn't David Murphy with one swing of the bat that got the Rangers back in. It was Justin Smoke with a high fastball out of the strike zone. Tomahawked it way out of here. Davis has had a little bit of problem giving up the long ball. And the Rangers say thank you very much for that one. Watch this pitch. I don't think it's a strike.
Wow.
Not even close.
The only problem with that is now you've got some video that'll get around the league and people will be saying, okay, high fastballs. Justin Smoke can hit high fastballs. He hit the heck out of that one.
The thing is, most of the time he won't swing at that pitch because it was so far out of the strike zone.
Shoulder high pitch. And he hits it more than 400 feet up into the upper deck. And just what you mentioned could happen has happened, Tom. I mean, it was water torture in the top of that second inning. Just drip, 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 and 4 runs in. And then bang, one big swing for the Rangers. They're right back in it. And Max Ramirez steers the count to 2-0. As I'm sure C.J. Wilson's aware, it is now squarely on him. Now that the Rangers have woken up, gotten back in it, now it's time for C.J. to go out there and keep it 4-2.
Well, C.J. deserved better in that inning, but a lot of it was his own fault.
Base hit for Max Ramirez up the middle.
The Rangers had a chance to turn a double play and maybe get out of the inning with 1 run, but once that happened, C.J. still had some opportunities to get out of the inning, but wasn't able to do it.
Well, line shot. Max Ramirez ends in 0 for 12. You saw the shot of C.J. in the dugout, and he does a lot of what we just kind of eavesdropped in on. Just kind of quieting himself down, quieting down his mind. Just trying to stay in the moment, if you will. When you watch C.J. a lot, he'll have his eyes either half closed or all the way closed. He'll open up just enough to see what's going on, see what his teammates are doing, but he's very, very much in tune with what he controls. One strike to Julio Bourbon, who piece by piece is getting it right. He's taken that batting average from 184 to 240. Of all the players on the Rangers, Tom, I think the hardest hit by the news of Ken Griffey Jr.'s retirement the other day was Bourbon. He grew up just idolizing Ken Griffey Jr. and pictures of him all over his room, wanted to be him when he grew up. The Mariners are coming in on Monday, but it will be without his hero. Another Ranger base hit. 3 straight 2-out knocks. He got a homer and 2 singles from the bottom of the order. And a trip from the Tampa Bay pitching coach now, Jim Hickey.
Well, the second out of the inning was David Murphy sandwiched in. The double home run single was a shot that David Murphy hit just as hard as any of the hits that Zobrist made the diving play on. So can the Rangers come all the way back? Elvis will have a shot. Hit one in the gap with Julio on first base. They'll come all the way back.
And the rally forecast has been issued, or the rally warning. A very localized area has been identified. Elvis Andrus, best in the league with runners in scoring position, hitting about .470. We're all getting dangerously close, I think, Tom, to just starting to take Elvis for granted a little bit. He's had a 9-game hitting streak, and nobody's talking about it. He's hit safely in 27 out of 30 games now.
I don't know what else we could say about him other than what we've been saying. His on-base percentage is 40%. He's hitting over 300. He's stealing bases. He's taking pitches.
Another one hammered down into the ground. And the hope is that enough other people are indeed paying attention, that Elvis gets to go to his first All-Star game. Derek Jeter is going to win that popular vote, the fan vote, just because he's Derek Jeter and he's having a great year. But Elvis having a season for your consideration for sure.
Well, the main thing that'll determine the All-Star team is what happens over the next month. Got 2/3 of the games in to determine the All-Star, so there's still a long way to go. Start thinking about the All-Star game too soon, and you let things slip away from you a little bit.
Andrews strikes out here, but the Rangers, now they do roll out of bed and get back in it. Thank you, Justin Smoke. It is 4-2. They're 4-2 at the end of guys to the All-Star game as possible. And you can vote up to 25 times at TexasRangers.com. Help send your favorite Ranger to the All-Star game in Anaheim. Go to TexasRangers.com, cast your ballot, vote early and vote often. Rangers now out hitting at Tampa Bay 4-3, but trailing 4-2. 2 unearned runs costing the Rangers. Plenty of time to come back on a nice warm night. Big crowd here. And I think a big inning right here, Tom, for C.J. Wilson. Not just tonight, but just in the overall scheme of things. It was a very disappointing, very long top of the second. Same guys that did him in, he's about to face right now. Ibar, Zobrist, and Shopik were the 3 guys that reached to get it all going. To left field, pretty well struck. Hamilton going back, he'll make the catch. And a better beginning, although Hamilton had to get on his horse to go make sure he could find it. Here comes Ben Zobrist.
Well, fairly recently, the Rangers were behind by 4 runs in the second inning. Back to Mark Burley in Chicago, came back and won big. So And then turn this 4-0 game around and win big today too. A lot's going to be up to CJ whether or not he can hold Tampa Bay down, put that second inning behind him, and come back and throw quality strikes, which he's perfectly capable of doing.
Well, the Rangers almost did that for him his last start here, Tom. It was 4-0 early, and the Rangers ended up losing 5-4. A somewhat controversial taken third strike by Vlad Guerrero to end the game.
I want to thank Kay James from Irving, Texas, for the huge batch of delicious pralines she sent up today. Thank you very much, Kay.
In for a strike, 1-2 to Zobrist. Yeah, good to eat familiar food and see familiar faces after a week and a half on the road. Tampa Bay in for 3, Seattle in for 4. Seattle taking on the Angels, by the way, later tonight. Rip and a miss, and C.J. Wilson strikes out a tough hitter. Got Ben Zobrist.
Got him to swing at a backup slider, it looked like, or a cutter. Stayed up and away. Got him to chase a pitch a little bit out of the strike zone, it looks like.
You are correct, sir.
And boy, you said exactly what CJ needs is a nice quick inning. Get Shopik right here and get that average pitch count per inning down.
Yeah, the second inning is just a blip on the radar and not the first thread of some fabric that's going to be a problem all night. And I think everybody can be okay with that. Everybody's got one bad inning or one bad moment in their day.
You know, you know how I know a lot of people are listening to our broadcast, watching our broadcast?
How's that?
I must have bumped into 5 people today. I went out and did some errands, did things in our neighborhood, got to the ballpark, walked up to the booth. I must have had 5 people say, "Did you find your sport coat?"
You know, I had a bunch of people ask me today if I had helped you in that pursuit.
So I'm sorry to report, it's still out there.
I got word that there's like a Facebook group now. It's called something like Find Tom's Coat. You're global.
Well, it'll be one of the happiest days of my life if we accomplish that.
That'd be awesome. We can have a little montage, you and your coat just kind of, in a big meadow of flowers, just kind of,
Play the soft music as I go in slow motion running toward my coat.
Your coat would have the arms out, obviously,
Kind of prance through the meadow as I see the coat drifting slowly toward me.
I mean, C.J. Wilson's the guy that wants to direct later, so we'll maybe have him take up the project. But
actually, as much as great as I've made that coat sound, I almost don't want to find it so people will say, "That's the coat you were talking about." But beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Well,
someone told me that a long time ago.
There's nothing more painful, too, than the separation of a man and his coat. So we do want to get that taken care of.
Actually, it boils down to the separation of man and his money. There is, as a matter of fact, a dollar sign on everything.
There's a base hit for Shopik. And another 2-strike pitch that just ends up rolling in between third and short. That just seems to happen a lot to C.J. Wilson.
Yeah, there's not much you can say about the hit that Crawford had and the hit that Shopik just had. I mean, they were good pitches. They were sinkers, probably out of the strike zone. They weren't hit very hard. If you're throwing a sinker down around the knees and a little bit lower, you're trying to get ground balls. Unfortunately, both of those balls went between short and third. Nothing wrong with the pitches.
Shattered bat. The ball takes forever to get to Kinsler, and he finally will go get
Shopik had to stop because the bat was coming at him. Wow. And you don't think that's dangerous? Look at how jagged that edge is.
Shopik, like he's trying to get away from bees or something.
I don't think I've ever seen it as dramatic as that.
Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by Budweiser with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Nice part of the order for the Rangers here against Wade Davis. It all starts with Michael Young, who's hit safely in 17 out of 18. Justin Smoak's 2-run homer, having gotten the Rangers back to within 4-2. "14 hits away. Michael Young from Pudge Rodriguez. 7 games on this homestand, and the math is very easy. 2 hits a game, he will tie Pudge before the Rangers hit that long road trip going to Milwaukee, Miami, and Houston. And essentially, over the last week and a half or so, Tom, is exactly what Michael's given the Rangers, is 2 hits a game. But, boy, it's a lot to ask a guy to keep that up for another week.
Well, if there's one guy that could do it, I guess Michael's that guy. He gets hot. Those hits come in bunches. He might not just stop at 2 hits a game.
Kapler drifting back, and he's got it. Second time that Young has hit the ball to Kapler. The Toyota on the road American League scoreboard. Toyota moving forward. The Juan Samuel era is off to a rough start. Dave Tremblay fired. Juan Samuel is the interim manager. Boston is crushing the Orioles tonight. Boy, Toronto just might be for real after all, too. We're at the 1/3 mark here in 2010, and Toronto could be 32-24 with a win tonight. Oakland's got the Minnesota Twins a little bit later on tonight.
And the only team that's bombed Brett Cecil was the Rangers.
Yeah.
That crazy game where we were ahead 9-2 and ended up losing. Before and after that, he's been pretty darn good. He's pitching tonight against the Yankees. Has only given up 1 run into the 7th inning.
Tampa Bay, New York, Boston, and Toronto, the 4 winningest teams in the American League. They're all in the same division. That's bad news for Baltimore, because the Orioles are 21 games out already. And again, since we're at the 1/3 mark, you can do some quick math, because everything times 3 right now. Maybe 63 games out in October. Kinsler is gone on strikes.
Good slider right there from Davis.
3rd strikeout of the game. He's gotten Andrews twice and Kinsler once. Vlad went after a slider himself in the 2nd inning, and he made contact, but he just kind of rolled out over to the left side. Let's see if Davis dares to throw him a fastball. Nope, not yet. Second most runs batted in the major leagues right now, Vlad Guerrero. He is 7 behind Miguel Cabrera. Baltimore chop. Rodriguez fires on the run to get Guerrero, and the Rangers are done in order here in the 3rd. 4-2 as we will head to the 4th. fourth inning. Rangers 4 and Tampa Bay 2. Check it out by inning. 12 in the first, 13 in the third. That's very C.J. Wilson-like. I don't know who that person was in the second inning, but as long as that guy goes away and the first inning and third inning guy continues out there, the Rangers definitely have a shot tonight. And again, C.J. was not helped out as the Rangers failed to turn a double play behind him in that second. A bunt for Sean Rodriguez. Boy, he sold that well. Matt Ramirez, no play. That's a surprise to begin the proceedings here in the fourth, and it is a bunt hit for Rodriguez.
Well, we've seen it all season long, early in the season. Nice, thick grass. It's really good grass to bunt on. And when you bunt the ball right there, you're going to get a lot of hits. Not much anyone could do with that one. No one could get to it except Max, and he did the right thing. Instead of throwing it and taking a chance on a bad throw, he just hung on to it.
Now the Hollywood, California native, Gabe Kapler. He's always had that Hollywood box office appeal going for him. You know, Gabe won awards in high school for his acting work, and he had to decide in high school. He figured between acting and baseball, and sorry for the theater crowd, but baseball won out, and it's worked out pretty well. Gabe won awards in high school for his work in Taming of the Shrew and Little Shop of Horrors. I don't believe he was the plant, but whatever he was, I'm sure he was very good. He's showing bunt. Takes outside. Gabe came up in the Tigers organization. Ground ball. Andrews after it quickly. Kinsler cannot make the turn. It's a fielder's choice. And not a double play. So now one out. And we say hello to Gina Miller.
Hello, guys. I want to tell you about a really special event going on tomorrow at North Park Mall in Dallas. It is called Stephanie's Day. It is named in honor of the daughter of former TXA 21 and CBS 11 president and general manager Steve Malden, who is now at our sister station in Los Angeles. It is a day all about helping families of special needs children and putting them in touch with the proper agencies, therapy groups, camps, support groups, therapy providers to help those special needs kids and teach them how they can get a little bit better, how they can get some therapy, and how they can really live a wonderful life. It is Stephanie's Day. That is tomorrow at North Park Mall from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. I'll be out there tomorrow having a lot of fun giving away a few Rangers tickets. If you want more information, you can go to our website, txa21tv.com. Guys, I'll send it back up to you.
Thank you, Gina, and happy birthday to you. It's Gina's birthday, too, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. What a coincidence.
And that actually sounds like a pretty good day tomorrow. Go check out what Gina just mentioned, and then hop on over here to the ball game. 3:10 first pitch. The mall, then the ball game. Strike to B.J. Upton. That makes it 0-2. There's the info that Gina was talking about for Stephanie's Day tomorrow. Infield poised and ready at double play depth. Upton has not put the ball in play yet tonight. A strikeout and a walk. Well, the crowd getting bigger and bigger as we go along tonight. Late arriving Friday night crowd. Ground ball, and this time the Rangers will turn 2. 4-6-3 double play. What they could not do in the second, they get done here in the fourth. And the Rangers coming in to hit. baseball brought to you by Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, moving forward. And by Blue Man Group in Vegas. For information and tickets, call 1-800-BLUE-MAN. Lefties all coming up here for the Rangers in the bottom of the fourth. Josh Hamilton, David Murphy, Justin Smoak. Smoak's got the 2-run homer. That's why the Rangers are to within 4-2. And there goes Josh Hamilton driving it to right. Gone! Home run for Hambo!
That was a rope. He took an off-speed pitch about a foot off the ground. You don't expect to see a ball hit that far and that hard when the ball's down like that. That was a missile. He's been working with the idea of eliminating his toe tap. You can see just lifting his leg up, dropping the foot down. He and Clint Hurdle have been working on that for 4 or 5 days, and nice results today, double and a home run.
The toe tap has come and gone since we have seen Josh in a Ranger uniform, but the one constant is that guy can hit home runs. Murphy trying to follow up. He drives it to right. Didn't quite get all of it, though. And it stays 4-3 for now. Josh Hamilton's 10th of the year. He's got a double and a home run tonight. So the lefties are indeed getting around on Wade Davis. Justin Smoak comes up, and well, he's the guy that parked one in the upper tank in the second inning.
Yeah, again, that was another pitch. You don't expect to see a long home run hit on a fastball about eye high, 8 or 9 inches out of the strike zone.
Justin, as frustrated as he was with how things were going, never did give up on himself. He's been on base now 9 times in the last 5 games. They have to fight his way on here, down 0-2. Off the glove of Davis and off the glove of Zobrist.
And Zobrist was watching that ball, trying to gauge how it was going to bounce, and it took a tricky bounce, and he couldn't make the play on it. I'd go over a base hit on that one.
I would too. I mean, these are 2 tricky things to handle here. There's one.
Ball's got some funny spin on it. Bounced right near him, and he couldn't come up with it.
What would have been awesome is if it would have deflected to Rodriguez and it would have gone off of his glove too. That is a base hit for Smoak.
Good. He deserves a hit. He's hit some balls hard that have been caught. Nice to get one like that.
That was like paddle ball right there. Max Ramirez will bat, and he took one right up the middle in the second inning. With a much maligned bottom third of the Ranger order. 4 for 4 tonight. The Rangers had only 2 home runs in their last 7 games, Tag. Now they've got 2 in their last 3 innings.
They started out the last road trip with the first game in Kansas City and hit 4 of them.
Yeah, and then it just kind of dried up.
Then they went cold for a while. Good pitching has something to do with that, though. They saw some pretty good pitching in Minnesota.
Good. Let Minnesota keep pitching real well against Oakland. Rangers and A's tied for first. The Angels have crept to within a game and a half. I mentioned the Angels start a series with Seattle tonight. They've got Joe Saunders on the mound. Saunders not having a great year. His ERA is north of 5.
Minnesota is playing so well against the Rangers, they went into Seattle and lost 3 straight.
Did it hit him?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
You love to see a hit by pitch on an 0-2 count. Pitcher's in command. As long as the guy's not hurt. He's got a little padding on there. Hopefully he's okay. You don't want to see anyone get hurt. Hit below the padding, evidently.
He's pointing to it. Maximiliano Ramirez will be at first, and Justin Smoke at second for Bourbon. Just a flesh wound.
Yeah, he should be okay. Kind of glanced off. Easy for me to say. It didn't hurt me.
Yeah, you're fine.
Just got hit by a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You're all right. Hang in there.
Well, it brings up Bourbon, who, again, is making some strides, but still his aggressive nature getting the better of him sometimes. Only 2 walks in 48 games. In large measure, that's why he's batting 9th and not 1st. Really no signs with Bourbon when he came up in the minors, Tom, and even with the Rangers last year, that he was the kind of guy that would never walk. He walked 48 times last year. Jim Hickey out there, former Astros pitching coach. Also the guy with the deepest voice of any coach in baseball. I don't know if you know
Who's that?
Jim Hickey.
Oh, is it?
Sounds like an FM radio DJ.
I've never talked to Jim.
It's worth it just to hear the voice. Whether or not you think he's interesting, I can't judge that.
But we'll have to go try to chat him up one day. Heard a lot about your voice, Jim. I don't really have much to talk to you about, but will you say a few words for me?
Then he'd go, mm-hmm. Longoria in at third. Bourbon slashing one into center field. The Rangers have him loaded up, and Elvis Andrus coming up. How about that bottom third of the order? They've been up 6 times. They've been on 6 times.
Sitting right there by Julio. Justin stopped to make sure that the ball was a base hit. And so he couldn't do anything but end up at third base.
Andrus has struck out twice. This would be a rarity indeed if it happened a third time. He has not had a 3-strikeout game this year. It will not happen. It is a base hit in the center. 1 run scores. Ramirez held at third. And the Rangers have come all the way back on Tampa Bay.
That was a pretty good bet. He wasn't going to strike out again because he was bearing down up there. Not only did he go back through the middle, he did it with some authority. That was a shot back through the middle. Got the pitch on the inside part of the plate, got on top of it, and ripped it.
Wade Davis, who outdueled Zach Greinke 1-0 just a month ago, and has had himself quite a nice little season. He's in trouble right here. Still loaded up. Michael Young coming up. Well, and here's where the Rangers can really get you. If the bottom third of that lineup produces, then it rolls over. You got to deal with Andrus, Young, Kinsler, Guerrero, Hamilton, and eventually Nelly Cruz. In between innings, Clint Hurdle was working with Elvis Andrus.
You can see Elvis say he was pulling his left shoulder away instead of staying square and hitting through the ball. And that little tip from Clint, that little conversation of about a minute, paid some dividends. Next time up, shot up the middle for an RBI.
Michael Young up the middle, base hit again. 2 runs coming in. The Rangers lead 6-4. Young down to second base as it gets away from Longoria.
Elvis just completely deked B.J. Upton in center field. Upton had him trapped between second and third. Elvis took a huge turn, was going to go to third, realized Upton was going to throw him out, and stopped. Upton threw the ball in, and Elvis took off again, beat the throw, and Michael ends up at second. Instead of having a man on first and 2 outs, now there's men on second and third and only 1 out. You'll see what happens right here. Upton's got him thrown out at third. He doesn't throw it. He waits. He throws behind him. We're going to get a good look at it right here. See, he's dead right now. All you got to do is run at him. Makes a bad throw, and it's second and third and only 1 out.
And that's going to do it for Wade Davis. The Rangers have chased him here in the 4th inning, leading 6-4. Second and third, Kinsler and Guerrero about to bat. We'll be right back to Arlington. Very rough top of the 2nd inning, but now, after getting the 2 runs back on the smoke home run, a 4-run 4th, and they're still having at it. 2nd and 3rd and just 1 out. Andy Sonnenstein, who's been a starter for them in the past. They got so many good starters now. It's really not like he's done anything wrong. He's just kind of the odd man out.
Yeah, he's kind of settled into really a solid role in the bullpen. 16 games, 23 innings. Nice ERA. Guy that can give you multiple innings if you need him. Finesse pitcher. He's not a hard thrower. Kind of guy that if you're in, you want to kind of do what Elvis was talking between innings about. Keep your left shoulder from flying out to the left and just drive it back through the middle. Got the infield back up the middle. Ground ball scores a run.
Tampa Bay starters in this ballpark were torched last year. They came in with some good ones, and it just didn't go well. And here tonight, Wade Davis cannot get out of the 4th inning. He's responsible for 2 men on base. He's already allowed 6 runs. Kinsler yanks it foul.
Davis has really had only 1 bad start this year. It was 2 starts ago against the Red Sox. 3 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. And as we mentioned before, in his short big league career, he'd given up 3 earned runs or less in 11 of his 15 starts. But today will be one of his worst starts, and it could get even worse if he can pick up these 2 runs right here. 6 runs already, 2 more out there.
It hits him right in the back. They're loaded up for Vlad Guerrero.
Well, that's the 2nd hit by pitch this inning. 1 on an 0-2 pitch to Ramirez was very costly. And with Vlad coming up, this has a chance to be very costly as well.
I'm going to beat you to the punch and put in the call here.
All right,
Vlad, this inning is just going too well. Vlad's got the only grand slam for the Rangers so far this year. We talked in the very beginning of the broadcast tonight about how he has just feasted here at home. Oh, big swing.
Boy, there's a hanger right there. That had right center field gap written all over it. Boy, he got away with one right there. And Vlad knows it, too.
If he homers here over the sign that says to vote for himself in the All-Star game, that'd be pretty cool.
That's some pretty good karma.
To left field instead, hit well. To the track, Crawford can't get it. 1 run in, 2 runs in, looking for 3. The Rangers have 3 runs in. Guerrero to third, and he is out. But they lead 9-4 against Tampa Bay with a 7-run 4th inning.
Well, Sonnenstein's come in and hit Kinsler, hung 2 balls to Vlad. He got away with one of them, but he didn't get away with that one.
It's the 3rd time this year we've seen Guerrero out at third base and receive a hero's welcome on his way after getting tagged out.
If you want to come in to get him out, you better come in a lot more than that.
Well, and Crawford's a Gold Glover out there, almost made a spectacular catch. Bases are clear. Hamilton started this mess with a home run on the first pitch of the inning. He's going to left field. Crawford going back. Can't get it. Hamilton on his way to second base. He has got 3 extra base hits in 4 innings. And hey, first place Tampa Bay, best team in baseball, best pitching staff in the world. Welcome to Arlington.
Sonnenstein's had a hard time locating his pitches where he wants to. He's been right around the middle of the strike zone. And nice day for Josh. We talked about how Josh has been eliminating his toe tap. And it's paying some big dividends tonight in 4 innings. 2 doubles and a home run.
High times for the hitting coach. The Rangers hit well on the road trip. They scored 9 runs a couple times in Chicago. Passionate about what he does. Murphy doesn't want to make 2 of the 3 outs in the inning. It's already been the biggest inning of the year for the Rangers. 7 runs in. Outside from Sonnenstein.
Sonnenstein's only thrown 8 pitches. He's given up 2 doubles and hit a batter.
Murphy clubs it, but right over to first base to finally draw the curtain shut on a 7-run 4th inning. Listen to this crowd. Big inning for Josh Hamilton and many others. It's 9-4. The Rangers now leading 9-4 with a 7-run fourth inning. And tomorrow the Rangers and the Rays again. 3:10 in the afternoon. The first 20,000 fans 14 and older. This is for the teens and adults. They'll get a red Texas t-shirt courtesy of Coca-Cola. 972 Rangers, the number to call right now, or you can go online at texasrangers.com. Well, not a great night for Wade Davis, as it turned out, and you never would have forecast that, Tom, the way that he was going at it early. Mowed down the Rangers, Andrews, Young, and Kinsler in the first. Went back out there in the second inning with a 4-0 lead, and now he's watching in the air conditioning, seeing a 9-4 lead for Texas.
Well, CJ came back in the third inning after a real tough second inning with a solid inning. Got a double play to get out of the fourth inning. And now you'd like to see the same thing after a big 7-run inning to come back and put another 0 up on the board. CJ's thrown 77 pitches. And if he can have a good fifth, good sixth, he can get through 6 innings. Get a little bit of length in the outing after a long second inning.
Crawford flies to left. Crawford came through with that big 0-2 base hit in the second inning, and CJ gets him this time. And Crawford had a couple of baseballs to try and run down back-to-back in that bottom of the fourth inning. Came very close to both of them. And Vlad Guerrero beat him. Remember, Crawford was the All-Star Game MVP last year. Didn't even get a hit in that All-Star game, but he was the MVP because of his defense. All-Star in waiting, Evan Longoria. Fly ball to right field. David Murphy's got it. That's 5 straight retired by CJ now.
You love to see a pitcher. You know, you talked about it, Josh, between innings after that bad second inning, how he was concentrating, maybe using some of his positive thinking techniques between innings, almost meditating to come back out, get through that second inning, and put some zeros on the board.
Nothing wrong with positive visualization. I was talking to Steve Stone about that in Chicago. He was one of the first proponents. You know, Steve, the year that he won the Cy Young in 1980, said every start for about 2 hours before he would head to the ballpark, he would literally just lie down on his bed at the hotel or at home if the team was at home and just batter by batter, just literally visualize. Here's what I'm going to do.
Way ahead of his time doing it way back then.
I don't think he knew what it was called back then.
Well, he knows it worked for him.
But, I mean, you can see why. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt, you know. I mean, it doesn't mean that you're going to will those exact things to happen, but just to plan out in your mind how you want it to look. I'm sure it's tough. I mean, when you give up 0-2 base hits, you're not getting the strike calls that you want. There's not a double play turn behind you. Those are things that you are not visualizing, but they happen. And it's all about where do you go from there. C.J. Wilson strikes out the cleanup man. Slibar down on strikes.
Same pitch he got Zobrist in the third inning. Kind of a backup slider that stays up and a little out of the strike zone.
Rangers up 9-4. Ranger baseball on TXA 21, brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Now, some big nights for the Ranger lefties. Josh Hamilton has 2 doubles and a home run. Justin Smoke is 2 for 2 with a home run. Justin actually a switch hitter, but batting lefty tonight. The Rangers, who had trailed 4-0, lead now 9-4. They've already got 11 hits through 4 innings. Tampa Bay's had to go to the bullpen. Andy Sonnenstein for Wade Davis. Davis giving up 8 runs in 3 1/3.
Well, that inning could have been a lot better for Tampa Bay if Upton had been able to throw out Elvis Andrus when he was kind of in no man's land between second and third, but he couldn't do it. And it ended up with men on second and third. Kinsler was hit by a pitch, and Guerrero doubled home 3 runs. Could have been a 6-4 game.
Justin Smoke has contributed with a 2-run home run going upper deck. Justin leading American League rookies. He's got 6 home runs. Pounding that one. It goes off the leg of Carlos Pena. That's going to leave a welt.
He hit that ball harder than his home run. That was a bullet right there.
That is a 3 for 3 game for a now 200 hitting Justin Smoke. And when he was sitting at 165, it was 3 for 33. And the message boards are blowing up that this guy is not ready and all that. Well, it was a bad stretch, there's no doubt.
Well, the guys writing the message boards aren't baseball people, and they don't know how he looked in all his at-bats for those 100 at-bats. He didn't look like a 160 hitter. He was hitting the ball a little bit harder than that. He was taking his walks. He wasn't overmatched. He remained confident because he's a talented kid. And eventually, when you've got that kind of talent, all you need to do is get your feet wet, get your confidence back up, take some good swings, and good things will happen when you can play.
In the bottom third of the Ranger order now, staying perfect. 7 times up and 7 times on base.
You know, guys writing the message boards could see a guy go 0 for 8. Could be 8 line shots to the center fielder and say, get rid of him, he's 0 for 8. You got to read more into the numbers than just the numbers themselves.
I think the other thing you liked about Justin, we kind of hinted at it, is he really never, even though he was frustrated and it was disappointing, you never got the sense that he was doubting his ability to steer out of it. And that is rewarded tonight with a career high 3-hit game. Max Ramirez questioning that strike call. Into the big crowd. They've all got the fireworks to look forward to after the game tonight. The sing-along themed fireworks tonight.
Well, Chuck Morgan's got his work cut out for him tonight to make the fireworks after the game better than the fireworks during the game. The Rangers' next 4 at-bats are anything like the first 4.
A season-high 7-run 4th inning, and the Rangers up 9-4. Catch in the crowd. But what a turn of just the vibe here at the ballpark when that 42 pitch top of the second was being suffered through. And the Rangers were down 4-0, and now there's a lively buzz at the ballpark now. Off speed taken for a called 3rd strike. It'll bring up Bourbon.
High strike, top of the strike zone, but a good pitch. Not necessarily where he was trying to throw that ball. He probably wanted it down a little bit more outside, but it was definitely a strike.
Sonnenstein does throw a lot of strikes. Bourbon lifting one towards center. Out number 2. First time Bourbon has been retired tonight. Royals lead the Tigers tonight 4-0. That game's in the 6th. White Sox with John Danks on the mound on top of Cleveland 1-0 in the 6th inning. And the Indians have learned today, Tom, that Grady Sizemore is out for the year.
Whoa.
And already the Indians 19-33.
Yeah, Kansas City's ahead of them.
Andrews takes a strike. He had a big hit up the middle to knock in 2 in the 4th inning. Toronto's now got a 6-1 lead on the Yankees at the end of 8, Tom. And not only has Edwin Encarnacion hit a home run, Jose Bautista's hit 2.
Has he got 19? 18?
What is in Bautista's oatmeal? He's got 18 home runs. That leads the majors.
That's just amazing.
Andrews socks it to right. There's Kapler.
Kapler playing very shallow for Elvis in right field. That's why he was right there to catch it.
End of 5. Rangers lead by 5 on TXA 21. Bring it back to Julie Dobbs.
Yes, hi Josh. I'm here to talk about all the great giveaways going on at the ballpark this weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's a 3 o'clock start time. Note the early start time. The first 20,000 fans out to the ballpark will receive this Rangers t-shirt, and it's the fans 14 and up this time, so it's the adults getting in on the action. And then on Sunday, we have the Ian Kinsler red jersey. The first 8,500 fans 13 and under will receive this awesome Ian Kinsler red jersey. So if you don't have plans to do so yet, make sure and come out to the ballpark. There's also some pretty great baseball going on out here as well. Josh, back to you.
Yeah, there is. Thanks, Julie, very much. Kinsler's had a piece of that tonight with a run scored in the 4th. There was a 7-run to 4th inning, and the Rangers riding that to that 9-4 lead. Ben Zobrist will take.
Now, it's a hot night, and when you throw 40 pitches, whatever CJ threw in the 2nd inning, that takes a lot out of you early. We'll see if CJ's got enough to get through this inning. 6th inning, he's at 89 pitches right now.
Let's see if his California cool can be put into play right here.
He's only given up a couple of hits in the last 3 innings.
Darren O'Day is getting up in the bullpen, and I think the design certainly is. If the Rangers can get 6 out of CJ, you feel comfortable turning it over at that point.
If you throw 110, 115 pitches, and each inning is 14 or 15 pitches, it's a little bit easier.
Well, CJ is not happy that he didn't field that one. It goes right through him, and Zobrist is on.
Then to have a 40-pitch inning, yeah, that was a fieldable ball. Pitcher is very vulnerable when he lets go of the ball because of how close he is to the batter. And when the ball is smashed back there, it's tough to react quick enough. That one wasn't hit that hard, but still, for a pitcher, it's not that easy to react to it. For CJ, it should be easy, though. He's got great reflexes, and he's a good fielding pitcher. Just let that one sneak by him.
Very interesting interview that CJ did with Sports Illustrated online this week. If you haven't checked that out yet, he talks extensively about some off-the-field things. I meant to ask you, since CJ is the big authority on Lost, did you finally get a chance to go back and watch?
I did. I absolutely loved the whole series. I loved the final episode. And, you know, I probably watched it at a slightly different level than CJ did, but I don't think it takes away from the enjoyment of what was a great show.
You mean you don't carry actual scripts from the show in your satchel like he does?
I've seen his script, though, that he has from one of the shows, and I don't know quantum physics. But I don't think you really need to know the show or think you know the show at that level. Just watch it for what it's worth. Great entertainment.
Something about polar bears and a smoke monster.
Yeah, that played a role in it.
Some initiative. Disappearing island. I'm with you.
A lot of stuff going on there.
It was a mind bender. That is true.
People going to the island, wanting to get off it, can't wait to get back to it.
There were simpler times when I don't think I'm an old man yet, but you know, used to sit around and watch.
You're probably thinking Gilligan's Island,
well,
right?
Sure. I mean that island never moved. They never got off it. But it never moved.
Well, I like that one, too.
The only real tough choice you had was you like Ginger or Marianne better. It was the only big deal you had going. 3-2 to Shopping.
Let's see if CJ can come all the way back from a 3-0 count. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll go back to those days of Gilligan's Island, and you take your pick, and I'll take the other one.
You can see how they're going after Shopping here. You ever see the Gilligan's Island where they almost got off the island, then at the end it didn't quite work out?
No.
You never saw that one? That one's outside and up, and suddenly 2 on.
I think CJ has just about reached the point where he's out of gas.
Maybe he'll draw a little bit of inspiration here. Carlos Pena has just been eaten alive by CJ in 2 at-bats. Remember, he just exploded his bat in the 3rd inning against CJ. Mike Maddox out to give him a breather right here.
I think what Mike's going to say is, look, are you okay? This is probably going to be your last hitter, but do you have enough to go get him? How do you feel? And then how are we going to go get him? We'll never know because CJ won't let us read his lips.
That's a new one, too. I mean, back to the days of, say, Gilligan's Island, you didn't usually have guys holding their gloves over their mouth like that.
I think with more games on TV, closer camera shot, camera angles, there's a lot of times where you can read the pitcher's lips when he's talking to the pitching coach, and they just don't want you to be able to do that. I don't blame him. Now, when Hideki Arabu puts his glove over his mouth,
I never got that one.
That's a little bit different story. He just thought that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, just kind of following directions.
Little ground ball that could have been caught by CJ. A walk. And you got to be careful not to get in a little bit bigger jam here than you want to be in. It's a 5-run game, but as we've seen in this game, it doesn't take long to score 4 or to score 9 to answer those 4.
And Pena, who leads the league in strikeouts. Matt Harrison now up in the bullpen, along with O'Day. CJ has walked 3, and he has allowed 6 hits, but he's got a 9-4 lead right here. He's facing the king of the stepping out of the box. He's doing it right now. Carlos Pena finally back in. Going for the outside corner, didn't get it. Sean Rodriguez on deck to follow Pena. We'll see if they dial him up 3-0 here. Nope, taken all the way. And boy, that's a guy that CJ really should, and I'm sure he knows this, can kind of go right after, but he couldn't throw a strike. He's going to leave the game with the bases loaded, turn it over to his bullpen. Only about half the pitches that CJ threw tonight were actually in the strike zone. He's not happy leaving the mound. 9-4 in the 6th inning. And the bullpen put to work here when we come back. Happy to be leaving the ball game. I'm sure not happy that he walked back-to-back hitters here after the base hit by Zobrist, and that base hit is something that I'm sure CJ is upset about as well. Something that was a catchable baseball, and he didn't catch it. The 2 walks follow after that, and now the Rangers have to go get Darren O'Day, and it looks like the Rays will be set to start pinch hitting now. Reed Brignac has grabbed a bat, and he will step in there for Sean Rodriguez. And after Brignac, it's going to be former Ranger Hank Blaylock batting for former Ranger Gabe Kapler.
And the Rangers do have Matt Harrison warmed up, which might necessitate another move. We'll see.
Brignac, the native Louisianan, with the bases loaded and nobody out. First time we've seen him. Rookie infielder. And he will take strike 1. Darren O'Day has been just pouring in strikes all year. The Tampa Bay has perfected the art of the comeback on the road. They just got done in Toronto, rallying a couple of times. That ball popped into short left. Andrews going back. He will make the catch. That's a nice first out to get. Hank Blaylock will come up against Darren O'Day. We'll see what kind of reception the Hammer gets here.
It should be a good reception. Hank was a good teammate and a good player for the Rangers for quite a while. So hopefully it will be a nice reception. He deserves it.
9, Hank Blaylock. Batting for Dave Kaplan. Hank Blaylock, number 9.
They do remember the man who has 90 home runs in this ballpark. Ron Washington knows that he can now go get his lefty to neutralize the hammer. Darren O'Day faces one batter, gets that batter, and here comes Matt Harrison. When we come back, it is 9-4. The Rangers right now have 9 unanswered runs to lead 9-4. But the Rays have the bases loaded. Matt Harrison, recently off the DL, of course, was in the Ranger rotation earlier. And he's got to face a guy that not too long ago he would occasionally play some cards with. Hank Blaylock will step in there. And Hank had to start the year at AAA. He was a Durham Bull, a very emblematic, almost iconic minor league team. And Hank obviously didn't really see that one coming, having to go back to AAA to restart his career. But to his credit, he went to Durham and he kicked the heck out of everything. He was batting around 380, forcing Tampa Bay's hand. They released Pat Burrell, and Hank comes up. He had a home run off the bench in Houston just a couple of weeks ago. Gets to wear that number 9 again that he wore for so long here. Ground ball, second base, and Kinsler looking to turn one on his buddy. 4-6-3. No! Fielder's choice instead of a double play. Safe to call at first. It's 9-5.
That's going to be a tough double play. It wasn't hit very hard. The throw that Ian had to make was a relatively long throw, and Hank was able to beat it out. You hope they would be able to turn it. They did everything you could possibly do, especially with Pena bearing down hard on Elvis, and Hank was just able to beat it. That would have been beautiful to get out of that inning.
Well, the Rangers loved what they had coming up with Justin Smoak, and didn't have the wherewithal or the want to have Hank stay in the organization. Now those guys are next to each other in your frame. First and third for B.J. Upton. That run charge against the ledger, of course, of C.J. Wilson.
Upton's only hitting in the 220s this year. You go back to 2007, he hit 300, hit 24 home runs, knocked in 82 runs. Looked like he was on his way, but hasn't really been able to take off from there.
His brother, meantime, Justin Upton in Arizona, had himself a really solid 2009. The team that he's on, though, boy, you talk about a big-time struggle. 10 straight losses in it tonight for the D-backs. So Justin's having a pretty good year for a pretty bad team. BJ's having a pretty down year for a really good team.
He still does a lot of things. He walks at a pretty good rate. Good center fielder with a good arm. Huge base stealing threat. So even with a low average, he's still doing a lot of things to help you win.
Takes it in too tight. Been a long game on a hot night. And keep in mind, Tampa Bay, their last 2 games, they have scored 5 in the 9th and 6 in the 9th to win. The walk to Upton, and they are loaded up for Crawford.
The last thing you want to see with a 5-run lead coming into the inning is 3 walks in the inning. Throw the ball over the plate, make them hit their way on, and don't give them any free passes.
Crawford 1 for 5 lifetime off Harrison with a double. Will have the opportunity here. Crawford had a grand slam the last time Tampa Bay took the field on Wednesday to cap that 9th inning comeback in Toronto. Well, I mentioned Crawford. Even though some of the other Rays this year are having down years, Crawford, well, he's been just fine, hitting .315. Last year saw some improved plate discipline, and sure enough, he had career highs in walks and on base percentage. He'll take here, and it's strike 2.
Crawford's a .360 hitter against righties this year, .240 hitter against lefties.
You got the dangerous Evan Longoria on deck.
Yeah, this is the guy you want. You don't want Longoria to hit.
Wasted 1. It's 1-2. Speed down too low. As you mentioned, Tom, already 3 walks in the inning.
There's only been 1 hit in the inning, and that was the soft ground ball that went by CJ up the middle to lead off the inning. That's the only hit of the inning.
Bases loaded, 2 out. And we'll do it again. The Rangers have the bullpen going again. And Chris Ray getting up.
Enjoyed talking to Chris the other day in our interview. He feels like he's a better pitcher now than he's ever been. He's added a curveball to his repertoire. It feels like his arm is all the way back from arm surgery.
And hopefully will not be needed in this inning. It goes to 3-2. The tying man up there in Carl Crawford.
He got it! On the swing at ball 4, too.
Tampa Bay leaves them loaded. Rangers up 9-5. now worth $1,700 and dinner for two at Sonic. Rangers hitting for Robin B. Stalin of Carrollton. The Ranger hits the grand slam this inning. We're giving away $25,000. You can register at almost any North Texas Sonic restaurant. 2, 3, 4 in the order for the Rangers coming up. Michael Young has been very consistently in there with 2 hits per game. Well, he's due for another one. He's 1 for 3 so far.
Well, 9 is a lot of runs, but based on the way that the Rays have been coming back late in games, I'm kind of voting for a few more right here.
I'm with you. When I'm with you, I mean I'm with you.
All right. Glad to hear it.
Young takes a strike. Hank Blaylock, ladies and gentlemen, in right field for Gabe Kapler. We've seen Hank mostly, obviously, at third base and sometimes at first for the Rangers. Rare to see Hank somewhere else, but he can do it. Will be asked to now. Reed Brignac stays in the game. He's at short. There would be your Reed Brignac sighting. Sonnenstein's been out there since the 4th. Young flicks it back to the net. Two in the second, 7 in the 4th. That's how the Rangers have their 9. Tampa Bay 4 in the second, 1 in the 6th. All that damage against C.J. Wilson, but only 3 of those runs were earned. O'Day and Harrison got the Rangers out of trouble in the 6th inning with Sonnenstein dialing it way down. Under 70 miles an hour to strike out Michael.
Yeah, good curveball. He's got a lot of arm and leg movement. Good deception. Takes a little bit off it, makes it curve a little bit more, and had Michael out in front of him. When he first came into the game, he hung a couple of pitches to Guerrero, to Hamilton. Guerrero was hurt. That was a 3-run double. Then when he came back out for the 5th and now for the 6th, he's got a little bit better command and throwing the ball much better.
Kinsler rolls it to third. And Longoria's got it. Now Vlad Guerrero, who doubled in 3. Boy, what a big play that ended up being in the 4th inning. Vladdy now with 47 runs batted in, trailing only Miguel Cabrera. By the way, the A's are losing tonight in the 1st inning, 2-0. Scott Baker on the mound for Minnesota.
Well, Baker beat the Rangers, but he didn't throw the ball that well. He was very fortunate to get out of that game without giving up 7 or 8 runs.
Fly ball from Vlad towards center. Took a big cut, but that ball is a harmless final out here in the 6th inning. No Sonic Slam winner. We'll go to the 7th. Rangers up 9-5. new from AT&T. Visit AT&T for details. That's your Rapid Rewind. Rangers up 9-5 as we head to the back third of this ball game on this warm Friday night. 3-4-5 in the Tampa Bay order. Tampa Bay has been very good against left-hand pitching all year. C.J. Wilson found that out tonight. The Rays come in 17-6 against lefties. Now it's Matt Harrison trying to get through. He made a big pitch to the lefty Carl Crawford to get out of things in the sixth. The base is loaded, 3-2 pitch.
Fortunately, Crawford helped him out. He swung at a pitch way out of the strike zone, down low.
High fly ball from Evan Longoria, sending Hamilton back. He'll turn, he'll look. It is gone. Number 11 for Longoria. And here come the Rays. It is now 9-6.
That's how strong Longoria is. That was a cutter that I think got in a little bit on him anyway. I don't think he hit that off the good part of the bat, but he still muscled it on out of here. That got ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Just couldn't finish him off. Longoria's been on base now 23 straight games. You look around baseball, Tom, guys that have a 300 batting average, 10 homers, 40 runs batted in. It's just Longoria, Vlad, Miguel Cabrera, and Robbie Cano. That's it. Boy, now 3-0 to Ibar.
There's no one warming up in the Ranger bullpen, but there's going to be pretty quick. Attaboy. Came right back 3-0. Got the ball in on his fist, and this time it only carried to short left field.
And that's something. You start out 0-2. That one ends up as a home run. You start out 3-0. That at bat ends up as a feeble flyout.
One variable in that, though, they were different hitters.
Yeah. Look at Darren Oliver getting ready now.
That was a good comeback from Matt right there, though. He gave up the home run, dropped down to 3-0, and came back and got the hitter.
Fouled back by Ben Zobrist, the Dallas Baptist product. His wife is a singer of some renown, Juliana Zobrist, on a Christian music record label. Zobrist has been fantastic the last couple of weeks. Kind of there, Michael Young. Slowly towards short. Elvis charging and can't get a grip on it. Going to be a base hit. 3 tonight for Zobrist. Meaning in the last 2.5 weeks, Tom, he is now a .450 hitter.
Oh, he hit it softly enough to where Elvis had to rush. I don't think he was going to throw him out anyway, but a little soft single. He had the little soft single right by CJ to start the 6th inning.
That ball zooms right away from Max Ramirez, gets all the way into the camera well. The wild pitch will negate the possibility now of a double play. See cameraman Dave down there looked all forlorn just watching that ball get in. Nothing Dave could do about it. A powerless feeling for a camera operator. See, look how forlorn.
He could catch it and throw it to second base, try to get the runner, help out.
He I mean, appropriately looks so troubled. He's a good actor. That's all that is. The 1-1 to Shopping. See, Dave can be on both sides of the camera. He's a very versatile performer. Wave and a miss. Shopping just off the DL. We've mentioned that a couple times tonight. And even though he's been off on a rehab assignment, to roll back in there and face guys like C.J. Wilson and Matt Harrison tonight, it's a challenge. Got the lefty Pena on deck. Harrison fires and he got it.
Good fastball. Came right back with two good fastballs to throw him right by him. Good location with it too, right near the outside corner.
That'll bring up a one-time Rangers first-round draft pick back in 1998. Carlos Pena, 10th overall. Really bounced around for a while, but boy, what a home he's found in Tampa Bay, even though he's having a really tough season. An extreme pull hitter. We've seen that tonight. A couple of ground balls to the right side. Last year, Tom, they say he hit 88 ground balls. And that's not a lot because he plays every day. 88 grounders. 2 of them were to the left side.
Wow. That's pulling it.
So if he ever wanted to shift against somebody, I guess this would be a candidate.
Well, he hit 227 last year, but he hit 39 home runs and knocked in 100 runs and walked 87 times.
39 homers in his season ended 5 weeks early, too.
That's amazing. Taking pretty good advantage of the times he did make contact. Struck out 163 times.
He is definitely the guy most likely to step way out of the box. Now that Bernie Williams is retired, the mantle has been passed to Carlos Pena. And there, last week, or earlier this week, I guess, in Toronto, was that situation where he did get granted timeout a couple times by Angel Hernandez, the home plate umpire. And then in a key moment, 3-2, he called timeout too late. Angel said nope. Pena took strike 3, which led to a lot of conversations. Taken there. It's 1-2.
Well, I think you just have to go with that same pitch. That's a slider. He got him to swing at it the first time. And I threw it on the inside corner that time. I think if you throw the one you threw the first time, you might get him to chase it right here.
The last 2 innings have ended with a strikeout. Harrison trying to make it 3 in a row and finally get this game to the 7th inning stretch.
A lot of pitches from Matt. This is going to be his 37th pitch. He got 4 out so far.
Time stands still when Pena's up there, boy. The 2-2. Hard in. Goes to 3-2. A 61st strikeout would make this big crowd pretty happy.
Well, you have to throw him a strike. Pena's got a good eye. He generally won't chase a pitch. And that just needs to make a good pitch right here.
Barely got a piece, did Pena.
That was a good pitch.
This is what drives umpires crazy. Pena, I mean, after every pitch, will just step out and just stand there for 10, 15 seconds. The 3-2 again. Check swing. Did he? No. And it was close to the strike zone anyway. The tying man will bat, but not against Matt Harrison. Ron Washington is on his way out. 4 walks in the last 2 innings. That was real close. Darren Oliver has been warming. He will be summoned right now. Tying man coming up. It is 9-6 Rangers. And it's 2 on, 2 out. Join us Wednesday. The Rangers and the Mariners have at it on Dollar Hot Dog Night. It's also a Dr. Pepper Autograph Wednesday. Ranger players and coaches signing autographs for kids 13 and under out in the concourse, 5:30 till 6. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS. Pat Summerall in the house tonight, watching a 9-6 ball game. Another broadcast legend, Dick Stockton, will be doing the game tomorrow on Fox with former Ranger manager Kevin Kennedy.
I didn't recognize Dick. He had a hat on. He was down in the dugout, and I kind of walked by him, and I heard him in his conversation. And after about 3 words, immediately knew who it was. Such a distinguishable voice.
Oliver to Brignac, strike 1. And Darren Oliver continues to dazzle at the age of 39, having some kind of season. Called on here to keep this a 9-6 game. Former Ranger Hank Blaylock on deck. It's a game that C.J. Wilson started. Ran into some tough luck in the 2nd inning. And then could not pitch out of some more difficulty in the 6th.
Now, that 2nd inning takes a lot out of a pitcher when you throw that many pitches on a hot night. But C.J. came back and battled very well through 3 solid innings after that. And I think, in spite of the fact that C.J.'s in about as good condition as you can be in, probably got a little bit tired in the 6th inning. And that one big inning just early in the game takes so much out of you. Every pitch is a big pitch, trying to battle out of that inning. And could have been a much shorter inning if the Rangers were able to turn a double play in that inning. That certainly hurt.
1-2 to Brignac. Taken a little bit outside. Well, and for his fight in Moxie tonight, CJ is on line for a win. But it's up to the bullpen to hold it. Against a Tampa Bay team that's been incredible on the road. and the comeback kings of late. Darren Oliver strikes him out. Blaylock is left on deck. The last 3 innings have ended with the Rays striking out with men on base. Toyota moving forward. Get past the 7th inning stretch. The Rangers will try to build on a 9-6 lead. And Randy Choate has taken over on the mound. Randy is a guy that, well, obviously the ERA is not what he wants it to be, but this is a guy that the Tampa Bay Rays like quite a bit. He got into 61 games a year ago for them. As a situational lefty, 61 games, only pitched in 36 innings. And kind of the same deal this year, 28 games, 14 innings. John Jaso now in at catcher. End of the night for Kelly Shopping.
Well, against the Rangers, if you're going to use the only lefty you've got in the bullpen, this is probably a time when you would do it, when you've got Hamilton and Murphy hitting back-to-back. Well, they've got a right-hander throwing out in the bullpen, so it's probably going to be a short stint for him tonight. 2 left-hand hitters. And maybe Smoke, of course. Smoke is a switch hitter. And then the 5th hitter is a left-hand hitter. That's Bourbon.
But what a night for Josh. Not only 3 hits, they've all been for extra bases. The home run for Josh, one of his 2 hits in the 4th. His 10th of the year. And you can see why they go get the valuable lefty to face the lefties here. Hamilton disposed of pretty quickly. Lance Cormier apparently will be the next man in. Remember, they only got 3 1/3 tonight out of Wade Davis.
Well, Choate's been tough on lefties. His batting average coming into the game 163 against left-hand hitters.
Rangers do have 12 hits tonight. Bunched a lot of them all together in that 7-run fourth. Frankie Francisco and the cavalcade of bullpen stars here. Tomorrow, the 3:10 first pitch. Tommy Hunter will have to hydrate. It'll be a hot one tomorrow. Tommy will be on the mound against James Shields. Sunday, it's Rich Harden against Matt Garza.
You see 3 really tough pitchers in this series, but to give you an idea how good their rotation is, the 2 that you miss are David Price and Jeff Neiman, and between the 2 of them, they're 13-2 with an ERA in the 2s. Those are the 2 the Rangers missed. There's Price right there.
League leader in ERA. 2-2, and Murphy is taken care of as well. Randy Choate is a guy who used to be with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and his last act with the Diamondbacks, he got into 2 games, got nobody out. So he had an ERA of infinity. Then he wasn't invited to pitch anywhere in the big leagues in 2008. He had to wait until 2009 to finally prove once again that he could get somebody out. And he did it time and again last year for Tampa Bay.
It looks like he's doing it pretty well tonight, too.
Justin Smoak has already homered as a lefty tonight. This game has definitely had some energy ebb and flow. And the fans were kind of down and out of it in that 42 pitch top of the second. And they woke back up when the Rangers started scoring. Now these last couple innings where the Rangers have been out in the field quite a bit, there have been a lot of walks from Ranger pitching and not a lot happening at the plate. It's been kind of a return to sitting back in the back of your chair now. This has been a career night for Justin Smoak, his first 3-hit game in the big leagues. 2 singles and that 2-run homer. Way outside, so Smoak has been on 4 times. And predictably, Joe Maddon's coming out. He wants to get his righty with Max Ramirez coming up. Been pitching change theater the last couple of innings. They'll go get Cormier in a 9-6 game. The Rangers trying to build that lead. And we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back here on TXA 21. Now they're up 9-6 and trying to build on that. Crowd of 36,245 sweaty patrons here tonight. We've already had the 7th inning stretch to try to de-sweat a little bit, or at least, kind of rearrange the sweat a little bit. Lance Cormier comes out of the bullpen, the Lafayette, Louisiana native. He and Paul Bacco out of the same high school. Not a great year for Cormier with that opponent's batting average at .318, but Joe Madden plays the percentages here, goes righty-righty. Joe Madden continues to draw raves in that Tampa Bay dugout. He was a unanimous pick for AL Manager of the Year in 2008. He's popularized those Elvis Costello glasses again. Ramirez ground ball right back to Cormier, who will toss to end the inning. The Rangers still lead it. 6 outs left to get. 9-6 ball game. Blaylock coming up, not for the Rangers, but for Tampa Bay. The game, shophonda.com. Vlad Guerrero, can he get it? Yes, he can. Past Carl Crawford to clear the bases. A 3 RBI double. He was thrown out trying to get to third. And the Rangers with that big inning. A 7-run fourth, and they're leading 9-6. And a pitching change yet again. His former Ranger Hank Blaylock is set to bat. Frankie Francisco, who's just been so good of late. Remember that ERA was in the 20s for about a week and a half this year. Slowly, steadily, down to 3.86, and he leads the team in wins with 5.
You just love the way Frankie's been throwing the ball. He's doing everything he wasn't doing his first few times out this year. Excellent velocity, which is not an end-all by any means, but combined with good location and good off-speed pitches to go with it is a real good combination when you've got the stuff that Frankie does. Darren Oliver doing what he does, coming in, getting the job done. 1/3, got the strikeout with a couple of men on. Now you're going to turn it over to Frankie, hopefully for the 8th, and Neftali for the 9th.
Hank Blaylock, a 2-time All-Star, of course, as a Texas Ranger. Had that shot heard around the world in July of '03 to win the All-Star game for the AL off Eric Gagne.
And there's Frankie pulling the string on the fastball count.
First time against the Rangers instead of for them. And the hammer takes a strike. A lot of weird injuries and lost playing time the last few years for Hank in a Rangers uniform. And he spent this entire winter tagged unemployed. Latched on real late with Tampa Bay.
Well, you called it in his first time up. He had to earn his way back, and he really did. Not easy when you've been in the big leagues 8 or 9 years to go back to the minor leagues. A lot of guys aren't able to do it when they get the chance.
Frankie Francisco strikes him out. That's weird for Blaylock to be doing that and then turning left instead of right, going into the third base dugout after a strikeout.
A lot of guys haven't been able to hit that either recently.
This is the bridge inning. Get to Neftali Feliz in the ninth, hopefully with still a 3-run lead. Nice to get that first guy out of the way. Upton showing bunt. Michael Young was playing back at third. Neftali has been fantastic. Had to be asked to become the closer after Frankie faltered about 10 games in. He is second in the American League in saves. Could he be an all-star?
Next month will tell, but yeah, at the time it comes time to end the voting, he might be leading the league in saves.
And the guy setting him up might be pitching even better than he at that point. At least right now, nobody's pitching better out of the bullpen than Frankie. The Rangers will have 9-1-2 in the order coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Oakland and Minnesota. Just to update things tonight, it's still 2-0 Twins in the 4th inning on a Justin Morneau home run. Rangers hoping to grab sole possession of first place again.
Oh man, that's some kind of splitter right there. In fact, he wasn't able to do that early in the year. All he had was his fastball, and he couldn't command it. Now he's commanding a mid-90s, low to mid-90s fastball, and mixing in a really good curveball and a really good splitter. And it's the Frankie that we've seen save games in the past. This is who he is right now.
He's got a run of 5 straight batters faced now who have all struck out.
I can see why.
Looking for a 12th straight scoreless outing. Get that ERA from, well, what was 7.3 down into the mid-3s. Go back a little farther, Tom. 21 of the last 32 outs now that Frankie's recorded have been with a K.
How many?
21 out of 32.
Wow.
This doesn't give a lot to do to the other guys out there in the field. That won't be a strikeout, but that should be an out. And Frankie doing exactly what you wanted him to do. Keeping this thing 9-6 as the Rangers are about to bat. And Neftali Feliz is going to start to stretch and get ready. TXA 21 North Texas Honda dealer of the game, Frank Kent Honda, Fort Worth. Visit them in Fort Worth or log on to frankkent.com. 36,000 plus on a Friday night here in Arlington. And the Rangers on the strength of a 7-run fourth inning. And some bend but not break from C.J. Wilson and the bullpen. Leading 9-6 against Tampa Bay. Best team in the league. Best team in the majors at 36-18 coming in was Tampa Bay. Bourbon showing bunt. Even with the third baseman in, he's trying it. Longoria throws! And the glove comes off of Pena as Bourbon, the ball, everything all happened there all at once.
Well, it was a great try by Longoria, but he couldn't make an accurate throw from that angle. If he threw it on the inside of the bag, he might have had a chance to get Bourbon, but Pena had to reach into the runner, which made it impossible for him to catch the ball. And it goes a base hit for Julio. 3 on the night now.
I'm going to give Pena like a 7 on the glove toss there, too.
Well, that's what Julio has to do. Is he has to hit the ball on the ground and he has to bunt. That can be a huge weapon for him. We talked about meeting Juan Pierre and talking to him about those same things. And Pierre, of course, has 6 or 7 bunt hits already this year. Can be a big part of Julio's game as well.
Well, if he's not going to walk his way on, bunt your way. As long as he's at first base, right?
Right. And you got to think it's a pretty good chance for him to be running right here. Maybe a hit and run. Elvis handles the bat so well.
They're pitching out, thinking along with you.
Elvis was going to take a pitch right there if Julio was running. Ended up taking a pitch and got ball 1 to boot.
Elvis had a key hit back in that 7-run fourth inning, drove in 2. There goes Bourbon. They're pitching out again. Jason's throw. Oh, they tagged the leg. And Ron Washington is out to argue with Chris Guccione out there. Bourbon looked like he had the bag, but Guccione is going to say that the tag got down on the cleat of Bourbon.
What he's going to say he tagged him low. You're right. But in the umpire's mind, he tagged him low before the hand got to the bag. It's a tough call for an umpire. Very difficult to see the tag and whether the hand got there in time.
Great look at it here. Tagged him on the backside.
You know, if he tagged him on the backside, he might have gotten it there in time.
Wash just got tossed. Ron Washington thrown out of the game. Boy, that is a bang play right there.
It sure was. And, you know, it definitely looks like the arm got in there. But when you watch it in slow motion, if the tag actually occurred, you can't tell for sure. But if it did, well, it looked like it might have gotten there in time.
Listen to the crowd getting behind their manager here.
I've never been in that position, but I got to think if you get out there, you get tossed, and 30,000 people start jumping up and down, just makes you argue a little bit more for them. That's one of the best ovations of the night.
Boy, things just escalated quickly. Run by the Gooch, Chris Guccione. Meantime, Andrews has got to get back in there. A 2-ball, no-strike count. So Jackie Moore has got the reins the rest of the way, the Rangers bench coach. Watch, we're doing a lot of pacing, I'm sure, in that hallway. He's not just going to go head in there, put the feet up, and watch on TV in a 9-6 game in the 9th. If it is 9-6 into the 9th. Former Oakland A's manager. Great baseball man, Jackie Moore. Well, the Rangers reloading. They get another fast guy on. And Michael Young coming to the plate. Amazing, the ebb and flow of the energy in this ballpark tonight. There have been 20, 30-minute patches where things were just dead. And then things like right now when Wash got tossed. And just the emergence of Michael Young to the plate, getting everybody fired up. Of course, a 7-run fourth was the crest of the wave. Already a 2 RBI base hit for Michael tonight. Elvis does have 18 steals. That's one of the top totals in the league, but he's been caught a league high 8 times. See, the crowd really is galvanized now. Their collective dislike for Cormier.
Pretty much universal. When the visiting team does that, the home fans boo. And when the home team does it, they don't do anything. Every ballpark, same thing.
Michael slowly hit ground ball to second. 4-6-3 double play. It is still a save situation for Neftali Feliz. The Rangers 9, Tampa Bay 6. And here we go to the 9th inning. Buy your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Also buy Standard Insurance. Call 1-800-929-2424. And by AT&T. See what's new from AT&T. Visit att.com for details. 36,000 plus on this nice Friday night. Fireworks after the game. The game is almost over. But the Tampa Bay Rays, who have rallied in consecutive 9th innings, will have that shot now against the Ranger closer, Neftali Feliz. A 5-run 9th and a 6-run 9th. The last 2 games for these Tampa Bay Rays on the road. So you got a tough part of the order to deal with here if you are Neftali Feliz. Matt Trainer is going to be the catcher going forward. Evan Longoria homered last time up, and that'll be the way Neftali Feliz dips his toe into the water here tonight. A game in which Ron Washington has been tossed. Neftali begins with a strike. Feliz got the save Tuesday with a scoreless 9th inning, though he did load the bases in that 9th inning. It's only the third time he's pitched in the last 12 days. Going to get ahead of Longoria. Already a franchise record for saves by a rookie for Neftali. He's got 14 of them. And locked down another one here tonight.
Almost the same situation he had in Chicago. He had a 3-run lead in Chicago. Had some base runners in that game before he got the last couple of outs.
The 22-year-old Feliz is up and outside. Everything pretty much 95 to 98 so far. The strikeouts just keep coming from the Ranger relievers. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 6 outs have been collected on the strikeout.
That ball had some movement on it. It kind of sailed from right to left a little bit, almost like a cutter.
Willie Ibar will be the batter. Last chance to catch a foul ball, huh? Or hit your brother in the head. Ibar, switch hitter, bats lefty, and Feliz against lefties this year has been a C.J. Wilson-like buzzsaw. Lefties are 5 for 49 against Feliz. Got a real hot hitter on deck in Ben Zobrist. Down.
Doing back-to-back changeups there. He's got a little bit of leeway to work on that. Sometimes you come into a game, it's a 1-run game. You just have to go with your fastball. Well, you got a 3-run lead. Got the leadoff hitter. You can work on it a little bit. Doing 2 straight changeups and made the second one a beauty.
And again, the Ranger relievers. It's one strikeout after another.
That ball's tailing away from him at 96 miles an hour right near the outside corner. Tough to pull the trigger on that pitch. And even if you do, you're not going to do much with it, so maybe foul it off down the third baseline.
Here is Zobrist. Line shot foul. Tampa Bay again. The last 2 road games, 5 in the 9th and 6 in the 9th to win. And Feliz trying to make sure that they don't even start thinking about that.
Zobrist had it cranked up to hit the fastball right there. He was out in front of that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Might be a little susceptible to a changeup right here with that approach.
Inside. That is a changeup. It hit him.
That was
there a slider?
That was an off-speed pitch. I think that was a slider that came right in and got him in the leg. Just kind of hung on to it a little too long.
John Jaso will be the batter. And Mike Maddox will go out there to make sure that Feliz has a scouting report on Jaso, about to bat for the first time. Pena will move into the on-deck circle as a tying man. And even though Pena's had a tough year, as you said earlier, Tom, Pena's a guy that had 39 homers last year and missed 5 weeks. Not the guy you want to see. You want to take care of Jaso right now.
Absolutely. Jaso's knocked in 19 runs in less than 100 at bats. He's had a good start to his season this year. Another remarkable thing that he has 18 walks and only 10 strikeouts, 420 on base percentage.
Runner goes. Pitch taken for a strike. They'll just donate the bag to Zobrist. Foul back. This big crowd standing up now. Inside, he hit him again.
That wasn't a slider. That was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right there.
Boy, with the fans standing.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and now you got to face Pena.
Boy, after back-to-back strikeouts, back-to-back hit batsmen, that's
that's trying to come in with a fastball. I think that situation, don't risk a hit batter. Came in, but way too far. Boy, Jason, your life will flash in front of your head, your face on that one.
Yeah, I was happy to see it hit the shoulder and not the chin.
Oh.
All right, so here we go. It is Pena after all. And there will be drama building because, again, Pena takes his time getting set. He is a tying man. 36,000 fans standing here.
Now, through the Devil Rays, I think what you say to start the inning is you hope Pena gets to hit in the inning. If he does, you're going to have a couple of men on base.
Ground ball, second base. Kinsler's got it. Ball game. So much for the drama. The big night for Josh Hamilton, a big part of it. He had 3 extra base hits in the first 4 innings. Justin Smoke had a career night tonight. And Neftali Feliz, with his 15th save of the year, the Rangers will stay in the very least at a share of first place. They're now 29-25. They have beaten the best team in baseball tonight, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, it was a good win for the Rangers. They dropped behind 4-0 in the second inning, but they came right back in the bottom of the second. Big hit of the game for Justin Smoke. Hit a high fastball, cut the lead to 4-2. Probably put a dent in the momentum. And then they had the big 7-run 4th inning. Everybody chipped in that inning. Vladimir Guerrero had a huge hit in that inning. C.J. Wilson battled after a 40-pitch second inning. Had 3 shutout innings after that. Did give up a run in the 6th, but he'll get the win and go to 4-3 on the season. And Feliz will get his 15th save. A good win for the Rangers against a real good team.
9-6 your final. We'll come back and tell you more in just a moment on TX 821.